to another place where they have no their IDs. Where will they vote from? That is one. Then two, is in this machine, can this machine work in this way that people first submit in their fingerprints so that they can know where they are voting from some area before looking at the register? Because just imagine someone lining up from morning up to 4, then reaches at the machine and is told they're not supposed to vote from here. Then would that person move from a point A, let us about 30 kilometers, to go to a place where to vote from? It will be a bit inconvenience and demoralize people from voting. So now it will be done.
Thank you for your questions. I think we will now allow the Commission to respond to those and give you the answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It appears that there's been a lot of interest in the BVVK. I wish you had taken great interest during the demonstration. Most of the questions that are coming up about the BVVK were answered there when the demonstration was taking place. Unfortunately, there was a lot of conversation taking place in different parts, and therefore people were not following. We are here complaining that they were saying people are not following when the demonstration was taking place, and this is why the questions are coming up this time round. But most of the questions you're raising, the technical team will answer them, although they have already answered them during the demonstration. One thing that I'm very sure about is that you didn't go in with a positive mind to learn what was taking place, and therefore you didn't learn. But I will ask the head technical service and also Mr. Commissioner Peter to answer some of these questions. The first question that came up was from Paul Bakablindi, and Paul wanted to know that the number of polling centers, people don't know where they're going to vote from. I think that's what I got from you. And your concern was there's some new polling stations. Now, what we have, what you call new polling stations, are in a center where the old polling stations were. There's nothing like moving you from here to Ginger Road where we were. You are going to be here, but probably divide.
Imagine money on every transaction that you make. Payway is giving you a mega cashback on every transaction that you do on your Payway wallet. When you buy airtime, water, or internet, we are giving you a cashback. When you transfer money to the bank, there is a cashback. Whenever you pay for your TV subscription or internet, there is a cashback.
Same polling center, but different stations. That is for Paul. And the rest of the questions were BBVK. I have to say that the polling station, the polling stations are 50,739, and the NVR, the National Voters Register, is 21,681,491 voters. That is the information that you want. And the question that came from Benedict, returning officer, supposed to share results with us before. It is answered here. You are going to get your results form. You are going to get it even before the National Talent Center receives the results. You are going to get it. I wish, if we had more time, I would have repeated. I'm a teacher. I would have repeated the demonstration for people who didn't pay attention to be able to learn and understand what is going to be. You're supposed to be our ambassadors for people to understand. It's going to be very convenient. It's going to deliver results in timely manner. And another person was asking, how it has taken a long time. This has been a demonstration. It was punctuated with a lot of talking and explanations and the rest of it because it was a demonstration. It was not a smoothless voting exercise that people are coming in and voting and going out. You could see people were explaining, and it is to you that they were trying to explain. And this is why it took a little longer time. You should not get worried about the batteries. We have catered for that. Don't get worried about them. We have a standby power banks, And therefore, even if it ran out, we'll still be able to do it. We have 2 power banks for every polling station. We have 2 machines for every polling station. We shall not run out of air. So can I ask Commission? Okay. Also, in addition to that, people who do not know where they're going to vote from, we are publishing all the polling stations so that people get to know where the polling stations are and therefore are able to identify where they're going to vote from. But the voter allocation slip is not only supposed to come out on the last day. They are giving them out now. A full month of giving out voter allocation slips. If you get your voter allocation slip, you are able to read it and you are able to tell where you are going to vote from. It's not going to be a problem. All these procedures and exercises are for you to make the exercise easy and seamless when we come to 15th December. Can I request Commissioner Peter to talk about the... Oh. Okay, can I... Okay, Director, please. Can you come and answer these questions that were raised?
So I will call on Mr. Chama first to clarify on the splitting of polling station and that information.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, commissioners, invited guests. I am here to explain something very brief about the polling stations, how you will find them on the day of polling. But the step the Commission has taken is actually to inform you ahead of time. The law requires the Commission to inform voters in advance whenever a polling station has been created, and the returning officer therefore does this on behalf of the Commission. In order to ensure that the biometric voter verification kits are used seamlessly on the polling day, as to allow every voter go through the process, the Commission has decided to average all polling stations to about 600 voters. If you timed the process fairly, you'll notice that we have about 600 voters going through that polling station during the polling hours from 7 to 4 p.m. That has been the idea. So what does the Commission do? The Commission has produced 21,600,000 voter allocation slips that are now being issued, like the chairperson has already explained. Every voter who gets his or her voter allocation slip will therefore know their polling station in advance. Earlier on, the lead person in the voting process explained that a voter who turns up at a polling station and does not find his or her name on the register of that polling station, provided the voter is registered within the district where that polling station exists, the biometric kit will, in the first place, say you are not a voter at this polling station. But again, the kit is able to direct you to the polling station where your name appears within that same district. In other words, also individuals who may not carry voter allocation slips or may not carry national IDs at the polling station. Once their biometric verification is carried out, positively or not positively, the kit will be able to direct them to the polling station where their names are appearing. I don't know that that satisfies my part of the explanation. We split polling stations like this. Previously, we had a threshold of 900, up to around 900 voters for the rest polling stations outside Kampala City, Wakiso, and Mukono because they are high population areas. But because we needed the right numbers for voting using the kit, we began splitting. We came up with 3 thresholds. The first threshold was for 500 voters, and that was raising the number of polling stations from 38,000 to around 70,000 polling stations. Then we looked at another threshold of 600. That raised the number from 38,000 to around 53 or 53,000 polling stations. And finally, we looked at a threshold of 700 voters per polling station, and it raised the threshold to around 40,000 voters. In the Commission's wisdom, the decision was to take the average at 600 because it would enable a seamless process of voting. So right now, the option we had was to split the big polling stations that were well over and above 600 voters. The Deputy Chairperson, Chair of this session, explained earlier that by splitting the polling stations, we did not relocate them from the mother polling stations. What has happened is we created bigger polling centers where we had one polling station with more than 800, 900, 1,000 voters. We split that, and therefore we had 2 or more polling stations within the same center. That's what we have done. And they still bear the same route name. For example, if we had a polling station called Electoral Commission 7th Street as one station with 1,400 voters, if we split it, we probably will get about 2 or 3 polling stations. And therefore would still maintain the route name Electoral Commission 7th Street A to K. Then followed by Electoral Commission 7th Street L to N. And finally, Electoral Commission 7th Street polling station O to Z. That's what we have done, but within the same premise. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Deputy Chair, Commissioners, and our guests. To just answer about 3 questions on the BVVK. William asked, how dependable is the BVK for upcountry operations? One, you saw that the machine only utilizes battery. So and all the BVK kits are fully charged before we dispatch them to the districts. And as mentioned by the Deputy Chair, they also have battery banks. So they are very dependable, as you've seen from this demonstration. The second question was, does the information stay on the machine? The answer is yes. So once the polling has been concluded, the information is going to stay on these machines untampered, unless or otherwise requested. Whenever there is a request, for example, for court cases, we should be able to retrieve that information and then avail it as needed. The other question was about, does the machine share results? The quick answer is no. Remember, this biometric voter verification kit is for verification purposes. So it is to just identify you as a voter and confirm that you are the one. In terms of sharing results, I'm sure all of you will be tuned to the National Tally Center where these results will be announced. And the last question is about training. One, all the biometric verification kits have been delivered in the country. We are currently configuring them. And when it comes to training, the the biometric verification.
Make payments to supermarkets, restaurants, hospitals, fuel stations, bars, duka, saluni, Rolex guy, and even Yobo the guy anywhere in Uganda with Airtel Money Pay using the My Airtel app. Go to My Airtel app, tap on the Airtel Money slab, enter your PIN, tap on the Airtel Money Pay icon, enter the merchant ID, and
it's just onboarding. Then in January, starting 8th, for 3 days, they'll be into now the practical of operating the kit. So even if you know how to operate the kit, you should know how the processes should go and how you should conduct the verification. So the people who are saying these 2 days were not adequate, there is more training for 3 more days where they'll be practical and they'll be simulating scenarios like these ones where we set up a polling station at the district level, countrywide. So they'll be setting up polling stations and going through the process. Each class will be comprised of 40 operators being trained at that particular point. So we are confident that the ones who are there, the operators have been recruited, who went through a very rigorous process, will be able to operate the machine given the number of days that we shall give them for purposes of practicals, which are 3 days. To just clarify again, the trainings which are ongoing right now for the BVK operators is just onboarding, the 2 days where we take them through the general process and then also ensure that the particulars we've received, mostly the NINs, are correct because they're very essential for that, for the polling processes. I think those were the questions that were asked. The security, yes. There was a question on one on accuracy, I think. How does the machine ensure accuracy? And then the security. As you were able to witness that if you're not a registered voter at a polling station, number one, you will not be able to vote. So that is ensuring that whoever is voting is actually accurately verified. Number two, once the data is on that machine, there is a process we call encryption. It's encrypted, and not any person can get that data and put it on a computer and be able to read it. You'll need a unique key that you'll have to enter, more of like how you put a pin into your phone and then you're able to access your phone. It's the same process. You won't be able, if the device, for example, is stolen or for whatever purpose, the person who would have taken will not be able to access the data on the device. And the reason is we've been able to encrypt it. And I had mentioned at the start of this briefing that the system has 2 components. It has the biometric verification kit, which we are seeing here, and it has also the central management system. So it's the central management system here at Electoral Commission that is able to read the data on each and every kit once the data has been stored. I think that was all the questions. I'm getting also some, the other last question which you forgot is if someone can check if they're on the BVK. So the short answer is no. So long as you are on the register, the National Voters Register, it is automatic that you will be on the VVK for your. So the quickest way around this is to ensure that you pick up your voter location slip, or you check online where you just put in Google voter locator and enter in your NIN, and it will be our website will be able to show you where you should be able to vote from. So the voter verification kit will be utilized for verification purposes, not for other purposes like finding out. However, on the polling day, should you turn up at a wrong polling station, the kit will be able to give information to the operator that you should be voting at another polling station XYZ. And that information, you'll get it on that polling day. So Julius, I hand back over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon Muhumuza, who is the Director of Technical Services. You've been asking what his name is. He's Solomon Muhumuza. He's Director of Technical Services. Here, Madam Chair, do you have some other, I think, I think we are getting done. Just for
ono omusajja bana agenda tutta ayiseewo soko akwate wano kyambadde mugamba ayimirire kati adduka alagawa
yimirira tambula linnya wano tambula
tugenda
tambula genda genda mu maaso
musoke mukole ki musoke musharinga video president waza mule bamublocking